Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are talking bronzers. We are going to go through my entire bronzer drawer, my entire bronzer collection, and do a little bit of a ranking. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As you know, I have my online beauty consulting service. This is a one-on-one Zoom chat where you get to talk to me about your own makeup collection, your makeup questions. So to make an appointment, click the link in the description box down below. Okay, so on Monday, I did my top 5 luxury bronzers because I asked you in the community tab and on Instagram which video you wanted to see. And it was really perfectly split, even 50-50, like 49-51, depending on the day. So I thought to myself, clearly, this is a topic you really want to see because there were a lot of people voting. So I thought I may as well just do both videos just to help you out. And so this is filmed July 2022. I'm thinking maybe I want to update this like every year, go through my collection, see what's at the top, at the bottom, etc. So if this is a helpful video, if you like this idea, make sure to like the video and leave a comment telling me that you want to see this content. Okay, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. I think the way that I'll rank this is I will leave my favorites for the end and start off with ones that are less favorite at the beginning. There's none here that are like terrible, unusable, hate them. They're just like, I don't know, for whatever reason, not my favorite. So first of all, something from Dior. This is the Diorskin Mineral Nude Bronze. This is from the Wild Earth collection from several summers ago. And it's not a bad bronzer. There's just something, I don't know. I think I used to really love this one. And then maybe as I discovered other luxury bronzers, this one just fell out of favor. I think that in comparison, it may have a little bit more orange to it than some of my other ones, and so that makes me love it a little bit less. And I think it's also the packaging. It's plastic, like the Dior compacts like this, like the old ones, used to only be metal and it felt more luxurious. I'm going to talk about another Dior one later that I like a lot more, but I think the packaging and the color, like it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just think that I have other ones that I prefer that are better. Something about the shade maybe and the packaging just doesn't feel as luxury as it should. So that's why this one is at the bottom of the list. That's why I'm thinking I want to update this every now and then because tastes change. Sometimes you get a new product in that just sort of like shakes everything up and you're like, I thought this was great. Now I'm like, it's okay. So now we have a product here from Chanel that in its peak, in its prime, was a fabulous product, but I think it's just past its date. It's just not wonderful anymore. This is the Chanel Les Beiges Healthy Glow face powder. This comes in a wide range of shades. This is 50. And I'm not using this one today, but as the 50, that's my bronzer shade. As you can tell, this was once really well loved. I'm hitting pan here, but the problem I have now is this is a hard pan and it's really difficult, like virtually impossible to get anything out of it anymore. Like clearly I loved it because I hit pan. So when it's good, but this is several, and I mean several years old. So I think I just need to buy a new one. Like, I don't know why I'm holding on to this one. Makeup museum purposes, I don't know. But it's just like, okay, we're kind of getting a swatch here. Sort of, not really. It looks really gross. But in its prime, when it's a new compact, when it's fresh, when it's, you know, actually meant to be used, it is a really good bronzer. It's just way too old. Like, I think this may be 7 or 8 years old. Definitely older than it should be. It says to use within 18 months of opening. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and buy a new one because this one here is just too old. Next up is something from NARS, and I have here a face, it's like a cheek palette here. What's this one? It's the Full Access Cheek Palette, and it has 3 blushes in it, and then the classic Laguna bronzer. Now, I know that the Laguna bronzer from NARS has cult status. It's one of those items that's always been on like beauty editor lists, etc. for years. I personally never really got into it. I don't know what happened. It's just when it was super popular, I never tried it. And since then, I've tried so many other bronzers that, you know, I've worn it, I like it, but I'm not like, oh, this is the best bronzer of all time. I have the cream version that I love, and I'll show later, but I don't know, something about the powder version, I'm like, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not like, wow, this is the best bronzer of life. As I swatch it, I can see the hype because it looks really soft and it has that really subtle, I don't want to say shimmer, but it's not totally matte. Like it has luminosity to it. So if you want that like sun-kissed glow where you just look like you came back from the beach and your skin is all healthy, I can see why there's fuss about it. I can see the hype. I don't know. I have so many other great bronzers that this is just not the one for me. But I can totally recognize why it's so famous and why it has that cult status. Okay, next up is a bronzer from Benefit that is sort of similar to Chanel. In its time, in its prime, for me, it was a go-to favorite, which you can tell. This is the Benefit Hoola. This is their classic matte bronzer. They have one that isn't matte anymore. They have more shade ranges available in this bronzer here. But as you can tell, I have hit pan. So that in itself is a pretty good indicator. I think if you can hit pan on a face product, when you have a collection like me, that means you've enjoyed it. And I did enjoy it when I was using it, but I guess at some point I just bought other ones and I don't know, like I like it, but I never reach for it anymore. And I wonder if it's because it's older too. This one, I don't know when this expired, but it definitely is expired because like makeup does have an expiration date and I should just go ahead and toss this one and get a new one. Like I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I can see why I would wear it because it is a beautiful bronzing color. It's not orange. It's very soft and velvety. It is a good product. I think I just need to go ahead and get myself a new version like the Chanel bronzer here. So like the Benefit Hoola is another one that had or still has like that cult status following for bronzers. Like for a long time, I knew the Laguna like NARS bronzer and the Benefit Cosmetics bronzer were like, those were like the 2 top bronzers that all the YouTubers talked about in like 2013. And I can see why. Personally, right now, I'm just more obsessed with the Benefit blushes and their eyebrow products. Okay, now we are entering into some tougher territory. These are going to be ones that I still really love. It's just a question of like ranking them a little bit differently. The first one here is from Fenty Beauty, and this is one of her match sticks. This is the shade Mocha. So these you can use for bronzer or contour. She has different shades. So I do really like this product. I don't know why I don't use it more often than I do. This is definitely, it feels more high-end than luxury. Like it doesn't really feel very luxury when you use it. That could be why, but it is a good product. It's more of like a stick, so it's a cream product. So if you like a cream bronzer, you can just go ahead and apply it however you want. And I like the color, I like how it blends, but maybe there's just something there that I like it. I don't love it. You know what I mean? It's a perfectly good product. I enjoy it, but there's not that little X factor that just cranks it up even more, that makes me want to wear it all the time. I definitely enjoyed it more when I purchased it, you know, like the new makeup buzz when you get something new, but since then it isn't really something that I reach for. I have another cream bronzer stick that I prefer way better. This would be the Westman Atelier contour stick in Biscuit. So this is actually the mini size here, which is great about Westman Atelier. You can actually purchase some of their smaller sizes here. So this is obviously very cool toned. It's more of a contour than a bronzer. You can use this as bronzer, but it's not going to have any hint of orange or anything like that. You can definitely see the difference here with some of the other ones we've seen before. But the reason I gravitate towards this one more than the Fenty is Westman Atelier does feel more luxury. It just does. And I like how mini it is. So it's perfect for travel, even though recently when I've traveled, I haven't worn any makeup. But theoretically, if you wanted to bring a cream, a bronzer stick with you, these minis here are perfect. They're just so wonderful for this. I bought this in a kit, like a trio. I hope it's still available. I'll go ahead and provide affiliate links, but I really hope it's still available because it's just perfect. You can try something out without buying it full size. If you want to travel, if you are someone who does your makeup on the go, this is such a great little size to keep in your makeup bag, and the color is nice. Like, don't be scared off by the shade. It actually does look like a nice shade when you blend it out. Okay, next up is something from Gucci Beauty. This is their bronzer, number 3. So first of all, let's take a second to look at the packaging. Beautiful gold and turquoise, gives me like vintage 1960s glamour. Definitely love that. And then this is the bronzer here. So this looks definitely like a more classic bronzer shade. Gives you, like, it's like a satin finish. I wouldn't say it's totally completely matte. It gives you a little bit of that, not glisten, but just that glow from the sun. It definitely has that effect, and it feels like a nice silky powder. I think compared to some of my other bronzers that have that glow in them, I think the glow here is a bit more noticeable. I think the sparkle is a bit more pronounced in the Gucci bronzer than some of my other classic powder compacts that give you that glow from the sun. This one here, it's a bit more noticeable. I really enjoy this bronzer. I wear it all the time. It's also gorgeous on the vanity. However, compared to some of my other bronzers that I prefer that are going to be ranked higher, I think the reason this is ranked a little bit lower is actually the packaging. Like, as gorgeous as it is, it's a little bit more bulky. It's not quite as like sleek when you're wearing it, or when you're using it, I should say. So even though the packaging is gorgeous, it's just a little bit more bulky. And so it's a little bit more, it's not really that much more work, but if I'm just comparing it to other ones that are smaller, more compact, that's sort of why it's a little bit lower on the list. I hadn't thought of that before. I was like, why have I not been using this bronzer as of late? And I think it's just the packaging. It sounds so trivial, but just something about it not being as sleek makes me not use it as much. Interesting. Now, next up is Chantecaille. This is the Real Bronze in Goa. Is Goa a region in India? Correct me in the comments. So this one here is that baked gelée formula. It's really interesting. It's a very interesting texture. You can actually squish it a little bit. And this is Goa here. I have another one, Sirena, that I actually prefer. Goa is a little bit darker for me. I think if I'm going to choose, I choose Sirena. But this one here, even though it's like a baked jelly texture, it feels so silky when you apply it like this. And this one also has that luminous effect. Like if you just went out in the sun and you just have a like healthy sun-kissed glow, this does give you that effect right here. So Goa is really nice, but personally, I prefer Sirena. I just realized that Goa and Sirena have different color packaging. Goa is one that's a bit more cherry color, and Sirena looks a bit more orange. I did not realize that. So as you can tell, Sirena is a bit more loved. I definitely dip into this more. I don't know why, I think I just prefer the shade. It's a bit lighter, so it suits me better. And this one again just has that beautiful, it's not matte. I think that's the key difference. It's like a soft, velvety, luminous finish, so it does give you that effect like you just came back from the beach with 0 sun damage and you just look glowing and gorgeous. All right, now we are entering into the top 8 left of my bronzers. I did the top 5 a few days ago, so these last 3 were very, very close to entering the top 5. it was just a question of like, I had to make some cuts. So next one up here is from Dior. Now, if you're gonna get a bronzer from Dior, I recommend this one here. This is the Dior Forever Natural Bronze. This is the collection, and I have the shade 05 Warm Bronze. Now, the packaging here is an upgrade. There is plastic here on the bottom. I kind of wish it was metal, but you get this like gorgeous faux leather quilted cover here. The packaging, chef's kiss, gorgeous. I love it. It feels squishy and hard at the same time. It looks much nicer personally. And then the bronzer itself, I also prefer. Now, like I mentioned, this is number 5 Warm Bronze, but Dior is incredibly inclusive with their shade ranges. So even if this isn't your color here, I think you will definitely find something that suits you. This is just like, it's a gorgeous color. It's not too orange. It's a little bit cool toned, but not as cool as the Westman Atelier. It's a gorgeous color. Even though it's called Warm Bronze, it's not orange. It's just, I think that this formula is an upgrade from the previous one, which makes sense because this came out, I think last summer, maybe the summer before. And I think this is part of like the Peter Phillips Dior beauty movement, where he just reformulated and came out with so many new products. So this is like a new and improved version of the Dior bronzer. So if you're gonna get one from Dior, get this one. Okay, let's move on to some Chanel. We actually have 3 here back to back. What a shock, what a surprise. So this one here from Chanel actually came out, I think 2 summers ago. It was one of the ones that had a repeat 2 summers in a row. This is the Les Beiges Healthy Glow Illuminating Powder in Sunset. So I think this one here may be harder to find at the moment. I think it was limited edition, but it came back 2 summers in a row. This one, I love the packaging. It has like a rope motif. So, you know, pretend you're just super wealthy on a yacht on the Mediterranean. I mean, that's where I pretend I am most of the time. And this one here gives you that gorgeous sun-kissed glow. If you look closely, you can definitely see the luminous effect here. I'm trying to get up close without blocking the view here for you as well. But it gives you that, I think it's called like bronzing and illuminating, something like that. And it makes sense because you do get the best of both worlds. It's not a highlighter, but it gives you that like sun-kissed glow, not as intense as the Gucci one, where I think the glitter is like, or I don't know, the sparkle for the Gucci one is more obvious compared to other ones here. This one is gorgeous. It's definitely really lovely. It's soft. It's not too dark. It's not too orange. It's just perfect. Next one up from Chanel is from this summer, from this Les Beiges. This is the Les Beiges Oversized Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Powder in Sunbath Deep. Now, I accidentally got the darkest one available. I wanted the medium, but I don't know, something happened. Either I clicked too fast or the, what do you call it, the fulfillment center put the wrong one in the box. I don't know. The packaging on this is to die for. At first I thought it looked quilted, but actually the packaging here looks like little compacts inside the bronzer. I love that so much. And then the actual bronzer here, clearly it's a little bit darker than some of the other ones here because, you know, it is a darker shade, but it still gives you that beautiful, not quite matte effect where it's a little bit luminous, but it's softer. There's absolutely no glitter, no sparkle particle. So if you're worried about this, like, you know, settling into fine lines or creases, this one here is perfectly suitable for you. There's no chunky glitter, sparkle particle like settling in anywhere. It's gorgeous. This is limited edition. I would say run, don't walk, because it's really pretty and it's limited edition. The packaging is gorgeous. Like if you like Chanel, if you like the Les Beiges, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. This is not something that I would skip personally, but also this is my collection here. Now we are entering the top 5 category. So again, continuing with Chanel, we have the Healthy Glow Cream Bronzer. This is the shade 390. The cream texture feels so silky smooth. It feels buttery. And as you can see, it just blends into the skin so seamlessly. Barely any effort, you barely apply any pressure, and it's just gone. blended and makes you look glowing and beautiful. Now they have added a few other colors, more shades, because this 390 here is called Universal, and I'm like, Universal for whom exactly? So if you want deeper colors, they have deeper colors available. I think it's gorgeous. I like a cream bronzer. Actually, I used to not enjoy cream bronzers. I just was used to, by default, powder. And then I just started using cream bronzers and I was like, wow, these just, I don't want to say disintegrate, but they just melt into the skin so naturally and so seamlessly that I can see why people enjoy them. Okay, next up is the bronzer that I'm wearing today. Of course, I picked one from my top 5. This is from Guerlain, and this is the Terracotta Sun-Kissed Healthy Glow Powder, number 3, medium warm. The reason I picked this one today is because my blush that I'm wearing is a bit soft and subtle, and this one here sort of acts as a bronzer, a little bit of blush, a little bit of highlighter mixed in together. It's sort of like a multitasking cheek product, but by default it is a bronzer. So originally this was a beautiful, pristine tortoise shell packaging, but as you can see, I enjoy it, so it kind of looks used and abused. Now, when you do pick up one of these Guerlain bronzers, you can pick ones that are more pink. I picked one that's more orange because I like orange and coral. But if you want one that's a bit more pink, they have that. If you want lighter, if you want deeper, they have shade options available for different people for different skin tones. This one here, this medium, this like peachy orange, it's perfect for me. And my blush, it's the Chanel Water Fresh blush in light peach, which is good, but it's a bit light and it wasn't really popping, so I just added a bit of bronzer. Like I did the bronzer where you normally put bronzer, and then I just took a little bit around here where I placed the blush just to add a bit of, I don't know, more dimension, more oomph. And it's just perfect. Like, it's not too orange, it's not too much, it's not too glittery. It's just a really gorgeous product, and I really like Guerlain. It's a really nice bronzer. I can see why Guerlain has cult status when it comes to bronzers. I totally understand why. And I like this as a multitasking product for when I want to add a bit more color to my cheeks at the same time. All right, next up is NARS, and this is the Laguna 2 Cream Bronzer. I much prefer the Laguna in a cream formula. It's very creamy, very buttery, and when you apply it, it just melts into the skin so quickly, so seamlessly. This is a bit darker, like I am blending it out, but this can be a bit dark, so, or not dark, but just very opaque. So when you're applying, go in lighter, because you can always add more. It's harder to remove bronzer, trust me. This is just, it's so easy. It's so beautiful. It just melts in so fast. Like if you're someone who doesn't want to futz around with blending, it's so fast. It just like melts in right away. Just so seamless, so natural, so beautiful, so healthy, so bronzed. So this one here, I love the cream version. The powder version, it's okay, but the cream one, like if you're asking me, which you are, I would recommend get the cream version over the powder. I just prefer it way more. All right, let's get into the top 2. So the first one here, I think is so underrated. Like it's really not talked about enough, in my opinion. This is the Givenchy bronzer. This is the Healthy Glow Powder in number 3 Amber Season. Now I have the old packaging. There is some new packaging around, but it's the same product, just with different packaging. Again, I'm surprised I haven't hit pan on this yet, but this one used to have a gorgeous packaging or detailing, and then I've just been enjoying it a lot. This one here, it applies like a dream. It's so soft, it's so subtle. It gives you that healthy glow. It's like a soft velvet luminous glow, like you just came in from the sun. It's radiant without being a chunky glitter. It's just so, so beautiful, and I think it's very underrated. Like a lot of these brands are known for their bronzers, and I really think that Givenchy should be known for their bronzers because it's so gorgeous. All right, last but not least, we have Mr. Tom Ford. Let's take a moment to appreciate the gorgeous white and gold packaging. It screams summer. It screams suntan on the Mediterranean. Gorgeous, beautiful, love that. And this is the bronzer 02 Terra. It is seamless, it's gorgeous. I mean, you can tell that it's on my hand, but you can almost like not even see it at the same time. Like it's so subtle, but you can definitely tell that you're wearing it. It's subtle and so natural, and it has that beautiful soft velvet luminous glowing finish. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. Like the top two, honestly, between Givenchy and Tom Ford, like they're both so good. Honestly, like really give them a try. They're so beautiful, so natural, so subtle. Ugh, so gorgeous. Like it doesn't even look like you're wearing bronzer, but it does, because you look more radiant and more bronzed, but you can't like see it. It's just so subtle. I love these ones so much. Honestly, top 5, like top 8, they're all great. Like everything is great. There's not really that many that I'm like, don't buy these ones, but it's a couple that I'm like, I wouldn't buy again. But that's just what happens when you have an extensive beauty collection. But now I would love to hear from you. What are your favorite bronzers? Do you have a preferred texture? Do you prefer cream or powder, or do you not discriminate when it comes to bronzer? Any color will do, or any texture. And let me know which products are your favorites. Do you have any here that you love? And if you enjoy this type of ranking video, leave a comment down below. Now, if you're new to my channel, I hope you take the time to subscribe, because we talk about a lot of luxury beauty. And if you are already subscribed, please take a second to confirm that you are still subscribed, because sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe you for mysterious reasons. But anyway, I think this is it for my video today. I need to go wash my hands of a bronzer. But thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.